Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Gaming Stooges Talks podcast. We are the Gaming Stooges.
I'm Jack.
You can call me Cloud.
And I'm Landon.
We hope you enjoyed today's discussion, and if you do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitch, or joining our Discord. Let's get on with the show.
Guys, I'm going to do something that Gabe Newell and Valve could never do, ever. 3.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the third installment of the hit PlayStation console entertainment systems series. Yeah. So PlayStation 3, that was quite an interesting piece of hardware, an interesting generation for Sony. It was the first generation where Sony kind of fucked up pretty bad, honestly, starting out. They released They released their original version of the system back in November of 2006, and we had that infamous $599 debacle. And this thing had a ton of configurations. Like, I have a page open where like it's just like all the different PS3 models, and granted some of these were like specific to certain regions, like some of them were like PAL only, but like there's like a dozen different models of this thing. It is kind of insane. As we all know, we talked about this on our Revisions podcast, but this thing is most notable for having several very important hardware revisions over the course of its lifespan that pretty much saved its life. I mean, it wasn't the only thing. There's quite a few that like led up to it, but it was really the breaking point of like, now we're gonna breach and start to make a comeback with a mainstream audience. Fun fact, did you guys know the 20 gigabyte original model PS3 did not have Wi-Fi?
That's insane.
I did not know that till today when I was researching for this topic. Very interesting.
Even launch Wii's had Wi-Fi. What the fuck?
I don't remember how the Xbox 360s handled that. Interestingly, though, unlike the 360, this was the first major console to have HDMI built in. So at least there's that.
Wow.
So yeah, like this thing was notorious for like the base models just having way too many fucking ports. Like you had flash card readers for some reason, and like just a bunch of different readers that like you really didn't need. This was the first system to support Blu-ray because, of course, Sony was pushing Blu-ray and they wanted to crush HD DVD into the dust. And
they did.
They did. Yeah, they did.
Eventually. It wasn't like the PS2 though.
No, it was not like the PS2.
HD DVD is irrelevant. It's
awesome.
Lasted for
irrelevant.
what, 6 months maybe?
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, but
I mean, they were still using HD DVDs on 360.
Yeah.
But that was the only reason. Like they literally just another interesting thing that we all know about the PlayStation 3 is that backwards compatibility is a mess on this thing.
Yep.
All of the systems have full PS1 compatibility, no problems. But as far as PS2 compatibility, it really depends on the model you have. The very earliest models, they have it because they have the PS2 tech built in. Another reason why they were fucking expensive. But also, I think like the next like wave where they took out the actual chip. They still had like emulation for PS2, so you could still play PS2 games. You weren't going to have them all run properly, but you could still play them. And then like after that, there was even later revisions, and then the Slim and Super Slim after that they don't have it at all. So really weird as far as that goes. We also had the whole debacle where the PS3 originally did not have DualShock. It had to go with 6-axis because they were settling a patent lawsuit, and eventually they would get the DualShock 3 later on. And I didn't know this, but they were really pushing DualShock 3 super hard with bundles, especially in 2008 when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out, and they were trying to like really start to make a comeback. They had a big, high-profile game. They were like, hey, buy this PS3 model that has Metal Gear Solid 4 and the DualShock 3. That was a thing. So that was cool. That was kind of cool.
Well, it's a good controller.
It is. You guys remember how the original PS3 logo had the fucking Spider-Man font?
It's the exact same fonts because Sony owns both of those things.
Yep.
It's
really
amazing.
Cool.
I wish they hadn't. I wish they had kept it all the way through up to today, right now.
They should have.
For PlayStation 5, just use like whatever their current Spider-Man font is.
Yeah.
No. I want this Spider-Man font.
Oh, okay. It has to be the Spider-Man font from the 2000s movies.
Yes.
That too.
Sam Raimi Spider-Man.
That should be the only Spider-Man. They should kill all other Spider-Men.
Okay. Do you guys have any experience with like early PS3 era? Because the PS3 really comes in like two major eras of time. You got the first like 3 years, and then like the last like 5 years of like major support. Really,
outside of having a close friend growing up with a PS3, no. Early PS3 is like very. I got my first PS3 in 2011, so
yeah,
I was
same for me.
I was late to the party, but I did play a little bit of some games early on before I owned one.
Yeah, me too. I played with like a friend that had it because like my friend, big PlayStation guy, he's like probably out of all the people that I know personally, like he was like the earliest to jump on the PlayStation 3. And I remember, I actually had to ask him earlier today because of all the different configurations of PS3s. I was trying to like look up some info, and I was getting like conflicting reports of whether or not the 60 gigabyte model had Wi-Fi. So I was like, did you have Wi-Fi in your PS3? You had the early PS3, right? You had the 60 gigabyte one, right? And he was like, yeah. Like, I had to corroborate with my friend in order to, like, verify this shit because of just all over the place. But we used to play some PS3 back in the day, although as far as, like, actual PS3 games, I don't remember very well. I kind of just toyed around with this backwards compatibility. Like, I would just, like, bring my PS2 and PS1 games and be like, ooh, let's play this on your PS3.
Even though it looks exactly the same, it's not.
It has HDMI. It has HDMI.
True,
but the picture is clearer.
Fair enough.
That's literally. But yeah, no. But yeah, what about you, Landon?
So the reason my family owned a PS3 as early as we did, because I didn't get full access to it until 2011. But it was the same PS3. My brother was playing Soul Calibur 4 on his 360, which notably comes with Yoda, but he wanted Darth Vader. So he bought a PS3 and a copy of Soul Calibur 4
just to
PS3,
play as Darth Vader.
To play as Darth Vader. Who, now, if you think about it nowadays, is a DLC character, and they could have just downloaded it, but
yeah.
This is back then when there's that. Also,
if it makes you feel any better, the reason that my friend got a PS3 so early was to play Sonic 06.
Oh so, no, like,
gross!
And I got to experience that a little bit, and it was awful. God.
I never played the PS3. I mean, I own Sonic 06 on PS3, but I never experienced that on PS3 when it came out. I only played the 360 version because it was the version my friend had.
We did.
The PS3 version is far worse. The loading times are even longer.
Oh yeah, it's horrible. It's really
the PS3 version is the version I played. when I got around to playing Sonic 06, and that was like way later.
Well, later.
I got it for like
after the fact.
Stupid cheap. I think I got it for like $5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
also
I do
mine at a used game store.
I do remember Metal Gear Solid 4 was a big deal. Like that was, I watched my cousin play a bunch of that, like and I was like pretty young. Like I want to say it was like right before the Slim model came out where I was watching him play it. So like it was, I think it was like
that was the first video game for the PS3.
Yeah,
Don't you know?
Not entirely. There, I do have. I did get far enough in my notes to list a few major titles that came out for the PS3 before that. And by a few, I mean there was Resistance Fall of Man, Motorstorm. There was some game called Heavenly Sword, which apparently sold 1.5 million units. I don't remember.
I actually own that.
But apparently that sold pretty well. And there was like almost nothing for like a year. Like after the PS3 came out, there was like pretty much nothing from like launch period to like late 2007, and then you got like a few things here and there, like Ratchet and Clank Future Tools of Destruction came out. You had Uncharted, Drake's Fortune, and Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. Not the full Gran Turismo 5 experience. That came out 3 years later, by the way. Just 5 Prologue. Both of those games sold really well for some reason, though. And then outside of like multi-platform games, nothing. Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots in 2008. So yeah.
Yep. That was the first video game for the PS3.
It really was.
It was the first really big one that like made people start actually caring.
And I mean, Uncharted is good and big, but Uncharted 1 is, I feel like, not the reason why that series like is as big as it is.
No, like and I say that as an Uncharted fan. Like Metal Gear Solid 4 really, it was just like the first big like, oh, this is the game for the system. Like to be fair, Uncharted 1 is the first in its franchise, and people didn't really like latch onto it super quickly. But yeah, when the sequel came out, though, that's a different story.
Like, okay, so they actually give a shit.
Yeah.
I will say, I think one of the big turning points once MGS4 came out. I mean, you also had Little Big Planet also came out in 2008, so like you started to really get like some heavier hitters. But 2009, not even like when the Slim model came out, because that came out like right at the beginning of September. But 2009 was actually just a pretty big year in general for PS3. You know what's happened in 2009? They stopped doing the weird ass ads they were doing for the PS3, and they gave us God's gift to the PS3, Kevin Butler.
Yeah.
And those ads were really effective.
I mean, that's the ad campaign that saved Sony's like PlayStation arm, honestly.
100%. Like, they were dead in the water, and then they had Kevin Butler talking to people on TV, and they were like, ooh, I want that game console now. That guy sounds cool. And then the PS3 started doing well. And this is also the time where we finally started getting some other big games, like Demon's Souls was a big one. GameSpot's 2009 Game of the Year. Fun fact. This was a multi-platform. You had Resident Evil 5, but you also had like Killzone 2, the original Infamous. And then obviously you had like new installments of a lot of series that they were like just big PS3 series, like more Resistance games coming out later on. You had Uncharted 2 and 3 would come out later. We had the Slim model. So 2009 was like the turning point for the PlayStation 3.
It really
I still
was.
didn't get one. I still did not get one until 2 years later, but
yeah.
It's funny that we all like actually got the PS3 in 2011,
like almost around the exact same time, and I think I know why we all did. The main reason, anyway, is because Sonic Generations was the first like home console Sonic game to not be on the Wii in like forever.
At all. Like not even have like a version.
I mean, I got the PS3. So once again, this is the same PS3 from 2008. So it's one of the big fatters. That's what I'm gonna call them.
The grills
for this podcast. The big fatters.
The big fatters.
Well, if you've got the slim and the super slim, you got to have a big fatter somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got one of the big. It's one of the later big fatters, but it is a big fat guy, and it was because I had graduated high school and I was going to be moving. I was moving out eventually, and also it was going to be like my brother was going to move out and was not going to need it at that point. So they were like, "Here you go, Landon. Here's the PS3 and all of the video games for it." And I was like, "Neat. I'm going to trade in all of these video games and get The Last of Us and Valkyria Chronicles."
The Last of Us wouldn't come out for another 2 years, though.
Yeah, I mean, I it was probably Sly Cooper, but like Last of Us was one of the things I ended up getting with a lot of the stuff from that. Sly Cooper also came out, I think, was that 2011 or was that 2013?
Sly 4?
Sly Collection or Sly 4?
Sly 4.
That was
2013.
20. I was going to say 12 or 13, yeah.
It was early
2013. Yeah.
Yep.
So then, never mind. Maybe I didn't get it until 2013. Maybe I just started using it more in 2011, because I played a lot of Borderlands in 2011.
I have to say, the PS3...
A lot of Borderlands 1.
Oh yeah, Borderlands and Borderlands 2 were really big games for the console. I have to say, the system kind of got overall like stronger over time. Like, this was like the first system where I feel like in a while at least, like there were systems, a few systems before like the original NES, but like there was some really big games that came out like at the ass end of this thing's lifespan, like the literal last year before it got replaced. Because you had, obviously, The Last of Us is like the biggest one that everybody talks about. It is the 4th best-selling PS3 game on the system. The best-selling PS3 game was the PS3 version of GTA 5, which came out right before the new system came out.
Yep.
Like right before the new generation of consoles. And this thing sold almost 30 million of its units on just the PS3. That's fucking insane.
That is actually crazy.
But you also had Gran Turismo 6 came out on the PS3 after the PS4 had already come out. Like that's like it was December 2016. That's kind of funny. And then there's other games that came out, but like that would just be kind of just rattling stuff off. There was just like a lot of really strong late era installments. And honestly, a lot of the games that I played were like weeb games that came out like at the ass end of the PS3's lifespan. Like almost all the big games that I played, like the first Dragon Ball Xenoverse came out on PS3 alongside everything else long after the PS3 was dead. The Hyperdimension Neptunia series started out like at the ass end of the PS3's lifespan in 2011, 2012, 2013. The Hatsune Miku Project Diva games were PS3 and Vita cross-platform games. Like that's how late those games came out. The Kingdom Hearts collections that they were doing, those were super late. Like I don't know what took them so long to do them. And like they put them out so late that they had to put out like PS4 versions not long after because the PS4 was already out. So like just a lot of my biggest games are all super late PS3 era. I don't think I've played a whole lot of like the bigger games from like earlier in the PS3's lifespan. I don't think I had time.
I mean,
well, the other
there's
thing
not a
is,
ton.
Some of those have then also got ported over to like PS4.
Yeah.
In some capacity. Like Uncharted, the first 3 games are on PS4.
Yep.
God of War 3 got a port over to PS4. So like some of like the big Sony stuff got ported. some of the like third-party stuff, like Valkyria Chronicles, got a PS4 Switch port. That up to that point had been like an exclusive. So there's some stuff that ended up jumping, and then like Little Big Planet had like a ton of different versions, and Little Big Planet 3 was on PS4. So like some of the big stuff was.
We got re-releases of the Batman Arkham trilogy, right?
Batman Arkham trilogy is on PS4. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because the Batman Arkham series was really big on the PS3, but like again, like you said, also would get a lot of the biggest PS3 games would end up getting ported over in some manner. It was just like how the Wii U would get a bunch of games ported to the Switch. It was like, oh, we can't actually do backwards compatibility with this system, so let's just bring half the library over.
I mean, that's fine, because then you also get like people that didn't have that system, like I'm sure a lot of PS4 players did not have a PS3, and so got a chance to play some of the backlog.
Oh yeah, because there's like 30 million some odd more PS4s out there than PS3s, and that's not even considering that like there's definitely some spots where there's no overlap between a PS3 owner and a PS4 owner. Like there's definitely some people that only have one or the other, so like having the PS4, there's getting all these extra games. It's really good. The PS3 is just in a weird spot, but it has so many games that got brought over. And you know what's really weird is like I feel like they made more of an effort to bring these games to further systems than games they had on prior consoles, because they had quite a few collections for PlayStation 2 games on PS3.
Oh, the PS3 is a treasure trove of collections.
There's so many.
Ratchet, God of War, Sly Cooper, Jak and Daxter, like all of them have pretty solid to excellent collections. Killzone, you could get Killzone 1 and 2 and 3. They did a collection for Infamous, even though those are originally released on it. There's so many.
Didn't they also do? Did you say God of War?
I said that one. That was my first one out of my mouth.
Oh yeah,
because they did a couple of God of War ones. They did one where you could get access with download vouchers to even the PSP games.
Yeah,
which was really sick. But yeah, there's a lot, and Metal Gear had like a huge collection where you could have access to basically everything from Metal Gear, up through
3,
Metal Gear
right?
3. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like Metal Gear 2, like the Metal Gear games, and then like Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, something like that.
It was a huge collection.
I feel like the PS3 was like the first like major home console to have like collections on like this scale. Like,
oh yeah,
to have like just here's 3 games from the previous console generation on one disc on the new system. Or two in some cases.
They really took advantage of the Blu-ray technology, just having so much space. Because keep in mind, a Blu-ray disc is like 50 gigabytes.
Yeah.
And back in the day on the PS3, there's not that many games that actually had to use the internal storage for like install data or anything like that.
Not until the end.
They just threw as much as they wanted on a Blu-ray disc and just called it a day, and it just worked. So like they were really experimenting with just like, let's have all these fucking games on these discs, and hey, I mean, can't complain.
Yeah, no, some of those collections are what I'm like actively like going after for PS3 at the moment, because there's some stuff on PS3 that I want still, and like that's some of the biggest stuff.
I've been trying to like look into certain collections because like you said, there's like some third-party stuff that's really good out there. Like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection on PS3 is
it's a solid version.
Super good collection. There's like 40 some odd games, including a few Master System titles, and it's like just all on one disc. Like that's pretty crazy. But I also want to get stuff like you mentioned, like the Ratchet trilogy, the Jack collection, the Sly collection, because there's really a lot of good stuff. And like Jack said, it was like the first major system to be able to do this. And like nowadays, it's like whenever we see like they're doing like a retro collection, it's like, hell yeah, brother, give me that.
You know, another really good one is Ico and Shadow of the Colossus.
True.
Oh yeah,
That was a fucking great one.
so what would you say is like besides like some of the obvious stuff, what would you say is like a couple of like the defining games for you on the PS3? Like what sticks out as like PS3 specifically when you think about the system?
I got to, since the PS3 was like my first HD home console, because I was just rocking with the Wii for the longest time, and I spent a lot of like 2012 and 2013 just like catching up on a lot of older shit that I missed out on. I played Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas a lot on the PS3. I put probably like 250 some odd hours into Fallout 3, and New Vegas I tried to put that much amount of time into, but that version of the game is ass. It's terrible. It crashes so much. The frame rate is dog shit. Fallout 3 I surprisingly did not have that much of an issue with, but the load times after a while, like the more of the world you uncover, the longer the fucking load times get, and it gets pretty bad. But I should boot that game up and just see how long the load time takes after like not turning on my PS3 in years. Also the let's see. Obviously the Uncharted trilogy was huge for me. I played a lot of Far Cry 3 and Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon.
Nice choices. Good choices.
Far Cry 3. I don't really like any other Far Cry game. Nothing else like scratches the same itch that Far Cry 3 did when I first played it, but that game is fantastic. I love that game. And Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon is the exact same thing, but it's like futuristic, like neon, like futuristic dinosaurs and bullshit.
80s vaporware in a video game.
Yeah, pretty much.
Vaporwave in a video game. It's like that is the aesthetic, is like,
and it parodies
Terminator,
like,
RoboCop, like type of fucking main character going around just being a fucking jackass and
it's amazing.
Punching blood dragons, like a literal dragon.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And the Sonic games on the PS3 were huge for me. Like, I played
the
a
PS3 version of Unleashed.
Generations.
The PS3 version of Unleashed was like a defining game for me, because like even though I didn't actually get to own it myself until I picked up a PS3 Slim in 2011 in anticipation for Generations, I remember I played a bunch of it because my friend got it, and like we played a demo and that just had Windmill Isle Day, and we would just play that over and over and over, and eventually he got it, so like we would play off and on. And I just remember, like, even to this day, the HD version of Unleashed is still pretty fucking good looking as far as like graphics go.
It's pretty good.
And it's a 17-year-old game at this point, which goes to show how we've reached like the law of diminishing returns when it comes to like game visual fidelity. I mean, obviously the game performed like ass because it was trying to produce graphics that the system was not always entirely capable of handling. But
the Hedgehog engine was just far too ahead of its time. The
really
technology wasn't there.
Sega was super ambitious, and you know what? I'll give them props for that. But Sonic Unleashed was a big one.
I played a lot of Sonic Unleashed and Sonic Generations. Generations was my first platinum. I also played a ton of the All-Stars Racing games, especially Transformed.
I wish I played more. I have to go back and play more.
So fucking good.
Now that I have them.
Or just wait
my
for
first
Sonic
platinum.
Racing Cross Worlds.
Yeah, my first platinum was one of my only 3 platinums. By the way, I only have like 3 platinums. Is Hyperdimension Punia Mark II. One of the only platinums I have, and I remember that I played through, like, one of my most fond memories actually is with a PlayStation 3 because I was playing this game and I got injured at work one day. Cause like this was back when I worked at McDonald's and like I hit my arm on the grill when I slipped. So like I burned my arm in a bunch of spots.
Ooh.
So I had to stay out of work for like a week. I spent that entire week just playing Hyperdimension Neptunia Mark II, and I platinumed that whole game. I ended up with like 100 hours clocked by the end of that week. I was just like, that was a pretty good way to spend a week while injured.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah. One game I really want to go back to, I played a decent chunk of it, but I just never had time to finish it. I don't know why. Probably because like other games came out, but was the original Ni no Kuni. I remember that game. That game is really good. I was having a lot of fun with that game. Gorgeous game. Just awesome game for the PS3. It's like you can get it on a bunch of modern platforms now. Like it's literally everywhere. But like I remember it was first released on the PS3 and it was like a pretty big deal at the time. Came out in 2011.
You didn't play the DS version? That was Japan only?
I forgot that there was a DS version.
Ni no Kuni?
Yeah.
I remember this, but I honestly forgot about it till you mentioned
look it up. It was a DS game in Japan.
Yeah. And then they put it on HD, like they did like HD version.
They did it on PS3 after, and that's where they did the worldwide release on that.
Really weird origins for the system for the game, but yeah. It wasn't all sunshine and roses, because you know which series also really took off in this generation.
We're not gonna fucking let me talk about the games I played. I see how it is.
But Landon, don't you want to talk about your favorite game, Dark Souls? He's looking at me like, ew. But no, which games stick out to you?
The biggest ones...
I think I named off all mine.
The biggest ones, I would say, I have my trophy list actually open. Valkyria Chronicles is probably one of the big ones, but it doesn't have trophies because it was one of those early PlayStation 3 games, so it was pre-trophies. But the first game with trophies I played, and I have a 97%, Sonic Generations, obviously. As we mentioned, that was like the reason why people bought a PS3 or started playing a PS3 in 2011.
At least we did.
Yeah. Borderlands 1 is forever a PS3 game, because I played through the entire single player campaign, and then I was in the second DLC isn't really like a story driven DLC, so I played through all of the main campaign, all of the first DLC, and I was most of the way through 100%ing the third DLC, and then my save file got corrupted and I couldn't keep playing the game, so that was cool. Some other shout-outs, Journey, fantastic game. Resident Evil 6, Sly Cooper, The Thieves of Time, really good game. Sonic 4 Episode 2.
Not Episode 1.
Well, I played Episode 1 originally on the Wii.
Yeah,
that was me too. That's what happened with me.
We all did this. See, because
we all did it.
We all had the Wii, and we all got Sonic 4 Episode 1 on the Wii, and then the Wii never got Episode 2, so we had to get it on the PS3.
We had to buy a PS3. That was the requirement.
Yeah.
I love how the timeline of like our focus on PS3, like
so
at least
heavily
that
revolves around Sonic.
The first, that first window of us like really digging into PS3 is all pretty much similar.
It's
and
because Unleashed was on the fucking, was on the Wii.
It had a competent version on the Wii.
It was a very competent version. And Sonic 06 was nasty, so we weren't missing out there. So like Generations was really it. But some other stuff, Machinarium, Last of Us, and Ico, Shadow of the Colossus. Those were I first originally played on the PS3, so I think of those.
They're the definitive versions of those games, honestly.
They're excellent.
Ask anyone, and they will say the controls on the PS2 version of Shadow of the Colossus are far worse than they are on the PS3.
Yeah, so like that's
I wonder how they fix those.
Good version. I don't know. Maybe used a competent controller that didn't suck ass.
They're the same controller.
Yeah, all they did was scratch out the 2 and put a 3 on it, but that's what makes it a better controller. It has a higher number. Big numbers make me go.
True. When you go.
You guys called out a couple other ones, but I think Limbo I also played. Was Limbo on PS3 or was that PS4?
I don't know if Limbo was on PS3. Let me see.
I was gonna say I feel like that was only PS4. I don't think that got put on.
Maybe
PS3
I played it
originally.
on the Vita.
Limbo was on PS3. Actually, never mind.
Maybe I played it on it then. BioShock Infinite and Sound Shapes. Sound Shapes was a fun music platformer that they ported to just about everything, and I loved that. And then I'll say the last thing real quick that stands out to my mind. Fuck, I had it and now I've lost it. Let me go to my quick list of stuff.
While you're looking for that, I just remember one notable little game I played on PS3 was actually a game that was like the origin for one of the characters in 100% Orange Juice. Like back when we got it on Steam, I remember like the character that I played as originally, Suguri, I was like, oh, I like this character. Where does she come from? And like there's like this game series for Suguri, and like it's not a great series. It's like a weird 2D arena shoot 'em up. Like yes, like there's like a weird circle area where like you shoot down your opponent, and like I don't get it, but like sure, it was on PS3.
I remembered. Fat Princess was a lot of fun.
Fat
and then
Princess.
I played them also at the same time on the Vita, but The Legend of Heroes Cold Steel 1 and 2. I played Vita, PS3, and PS4. So, yeah, those ones were like very big, super late into the PS3 era when I could like switch between all of those versions. Well, technically you could only switch between PS3 and Vita. PS4 was like you're on that, but yeah.
The PS3 was interesting because they were like they kind of dropped like the whole like gimmick really quickly until they brought it back using the Portal, which is streaming, so not really the same thing. But like they had like this weird attempt to like do like cross play, like cross buy and cross like saves. So like you could get like you could get a Vita game, and then like later they would do this with PS4 as well, but like they really did it late, like when PS Vita came out like first out and they had PS3 and Vita games. It was like, oh, you can get on both systems, you have the save on one, you can transfer it over to the other one, you can play the either version. Isn't that how you partially how you experienced Borderlands 2, and you were like, the Vita version was just like, I don't know.
No, yeah, that's how I did that. Is I would play it on the bus, but like what you needed to do, you had to do like a full saved like transfer every time. It wasn't like super quick and easy like it is for some things nowadays. But like it was weird. You had to like reallocate points or something every single time.
Yeah, because like it wasn't
weird how they handled it.
Like they didn't do just like using cloud save, because like they have a cloud save system, but you couldn't just do that for the games. Like you couldn't just be like, okay, I'm just gonna upload it to the cloud and then download it on the other side. No, like you said, you had to literally go into something on the game itself and just be like transfer, and then you had to do a stupid process.
I did the same thing with, obviously I'd mentioned Legend of Heroes. That one was more like you could transfer the save file and things like carried over. Borderlands 2 was just weird on that, how they dealt with it. But Sound Shapes was one I did, because that was all three, PS3, Vita, and PS4. But they all had their own trophy list. and so you could just load it onto the other. So like I played it like
and then
PS3,
and then just get
And
all
then
the trophies for free.
yeah. Any trophies you unlocked, you just got for free on the other systems. So I have like a 94% on those because there's one fucking mission that's like impossible, that I'd have to beat in order to get it. But yeah, like I got basically 3 pairs of all of the trophies for that. It was awesome.
Yeah. Jack, do you have any experience with any of those like weird, interesting things about? I think I remember you mentioning something about like there was a handful of PS3 games where you could play because like the PS3 was they had this weird era where you could just like have a bunch of media stored on your device for some reason. Like you could just store pictures and music and videos and all this other stuff. And like you said that there was actually a few PS3 games where you could play the music you had in the background while playing the game. Because I'm not gonna lie, I knew this was a thing on Xbox 360. I did not know there was any PS3 games that supported this.
There's very few. The only one that I can even remember that comes to mind is Bayonetta, which surprisingly lets you just listen to your own music while you're playing the game, and it's pretty cool. But
did you have any other like experiences with like other weird things with the PS3? Just kind of a standard PS3 user. Just
I used the web browser sometimes. It was like a surprising...
shout out to the PS3 having a full web browser.
It was surprisingly decent.
The PSP. The PSP's web browser and the PS3. Yeah, no, the PS3 web browser worked. Like, I mean, it was better than the Wii's because the Wii had a web browser.
I used the Wii web browser a ton.
I used it a lot, trust me, because obviously I had no other choice sometimes. But like the PS3 web browser was like legitimately was pretty nice to use. And then that was like the last time we got like systems that had like full web browser. The 3DS as well. Let's be fair. You had the 3DS as well, but it's, yeah. The PS4 was just like no web browser. You don't get treats. Which, you know, actually reminds me, something interesting I found, like, browsing, because, like, I'm on the PS3 subreddit, because I like the PS3 and L4, it's like, I wonder what, like, people are doing with this. There's so many people that when they obtain their PS3 to, like, so that they can mod it, do whatever they want with it, the last owner for the PS3 just had porn on it.
Hell yeah, brother!
Just so many instances of previous PS3 owners with porn on their PS3s. What is with people?
Love a good porn on a video game system story. It's some of my favorite stories.
Obviously, the best use of PS3 is to store your porn.
Obviously,
like,
That's why you get a fucking 2 terabyte external hard drive and plug that sucker in so you can have 2 terabytes of porn just ready to fucking rip and tear. And that's why you also fucking replace I don't care what model you have, you replace that son of a bitch's internal hard drive with a 2.5 inch laptop hard drive, 2 terabytes, and get yourself even more porn on that fucking sucker. Let's go.
Oh yeah, you actually upgraded your storage for the PS3 at one point. How
I did.
Was that an easy process? Because I never got to do it.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward. You have to like unscrew a bunch of stuff and then like slide it in, but it like restarting, and then you have to like load up I remember having to load up the OS onto it because it was a blank hard drive. But yeah, it's like I did it because I had PlayStation Plus for a long time, and also I didn't have easy access to stores to go buy games, so digital was like the
this was at that point.
This was like my heavy digital era, and so like. And PS3 was super easy to like cross share games because you could like load up your friend's account and download any games they purchased and played them. So like Justin and I would do that, and it was mostly Justin would benefit and like get all of his play a bunch of fucking games I bought. But I got Resident Evil 6 DLC maps, so it was fine.
It was all worth it.
It was all worth it. We got to play some fucking raid, some merc missions that way.
I remember that the PS3 was like an era where there was a lot of people like doing like, you know, sharing, we'll say.
Yeah.
For, like,
whenever when it was worth it to have Plus.
That was the other thing. That was the other big thing, is because I had Plus, I would keep that going, and there was so many good fucking games, because like a lot of the first party games would be on Plus for like a month. So like the Sly collection, all of that nonsense I ended up there, and that's where I tried out a lot of stuff. Was during that early era of Plus, or that mid. I guess it's technically early era, because it was before it was required if you wanted to play shit online. And it was $50 at the time.
Al mentioned that there's quite a few of the like Bandai Namco mecha games that
there's a ton.
Let you use PS3, that let you use like music in game on PS3. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I didn't know that. But yeah, I know as far as like using like the different features of the PS3, I think one of the biggest is I remember. So the PS3 was one of the first. It was doing that thing like the Wii and the Xbox 360 did, especially the Wii, where like they had like classic games available that you could get. And
yep, PS1 classics.
I got a lot of PS1 classics that way, and because you could play a lot of those on the PSP, you could transfer your saves that way. Like you said, quite a pain in the ass. You would have to like basically like copy your save from the PSP to the PS3, and then copy back over to the PSP's stick when it's like connected to the PS3 through USB. But you could do like a sort of like a sort of Switch before Switch was a thing with those. It was very, very finicky, but you could do it. And I would do that with like Final Fantasy VII, Spyro 3, Threads of Fate, a couple other games. I just weirdly just had a lot of cool features that just were not fully like realized until like generations later.
You could do the same thing with the Vita. You could transfer all your your PlayStation 1 classics to that. The reason I got a PS TV is to make the transfers even easier. So you could basically, PS TV just took over as the point of the PS3, because it was just the console that was plugged into the TV, and then you could just like switch your memory card into the Vita itself, and then you didn't have to fucking worry about all that nonsense.
Yeah, because PS TV, when did that come out? That didn't come out till like 2014. Oh God.
Yeah,
like it was like after the PS4 had already come out.
Yeah, it was after the PS4. But here's a fun fact. There are a couple PlayStation 1 classics that you cannot actually like download onto the Vita from the storefront itself. You had to use the PS3. Valkyria Chronicles 2 is one of these games. I had to download it onto the PS3 and then transfer it to the Vita in order to
That's
play
how that worked with the
thing.
PSP. That's how that worked with the PSP. There was a lot of games on PSP where you just couldn't get it unless you had it on PS3 first. You had to go on the PS Store on the PS3, download it, and then transfer it over to the PSP, which, by the way, keep in mind, PSP, not a very powerful system. And so transferring games that were very large, like Final Fantasy VII being a 1.5 gigabyte game, took forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
See, that's the one advantage the Vita had over the PSP. It was like a decently, like, it was a powerful system, and depending on the memory card you had, you could actually like store shit on there. So, yeah.
A lot of fun memories with the PS3, though. There's like, I mean, my biggest regret with the PS3 is just that I have not played enough of the PS3's library. Like, there are so many good games on the PS3, especially when you get past that early stage where, like, there wasn't a whole lot. There's just, so many good games. And, like, a lot of games that, because of how much power they needed, you could not get them on, like, Wii. Like, they just never released on the Wii.
Mm-hmm.
There was quite a lot of games that, like, Japan... like Japanese studios, Japan was much more big on the PS3 than the 360. So you would just get a lot of games on PS3 that just never went to 360. So later on in the PS3's life, you just were getting a lot more exclusives that were literally nowhere else.
Yeah, like you said, Ni no Kuni, but a lot of the Tales of games for a while were like...
Yep, Tales of was huge on PS3, honestly.
Yeah, it was after Vesperia, because Vesperia was a 360 exclusive. In the US, it did get a Japanese re-release for the PS3, but in the US, it was 360 exclusive up until the HD re-release. But so Vesperia, Graces F, Zillia 1, Zillia 2, Symphonia HD Collection, another HD collection, and Zestiria were all PS3 titles.
Like, I imagine there's, like, a huge Tales of fan somewhere out there that, like, loves Tales of more than anything else, and they're just like, the PS3 is the best console of all time, dude. Just, like, I would respect it, because all those games you listed, so...
Al, your thoughts?
Al is definitely, like, the biggest authority on Tales of that we know. So, whatever he says, we're just gonna go with it.
I think the biggest thing that it's missing, honestly, is Tales of the Abyss.
Yeah. Jack...
And then some of the newer stuff, but...
You stepped out for a quick second, but we were just talking about, like, how strong the library of the PS3 got over time, especially with, like, exclusives where... there was just more and more for different reasons where just nowhere else.
Yeah. Al says Tales of fans suck ass.
They're very divided between games. Interesting.
I wonder why he would say that.
I don't know.
Probably because he knows about the Tales of fan base. But yeah, because like I'm sure you've dabbled in your fair share of PS3 games that were exclusives because of that. Because like the 360 did not have, like, they had a lot of multi-platform games, but a lot of Japanese companies would go and just put games only on PS3 since what is an Xbox over there, and Wii wasn't powerful enough to have some of these games, so like PS3 was literally the only place to get them. Did you have any experience with games like that, or were you mostly like playing a lot of like just...
I honestly wasn't playing a ton of like
PS3 exclusives outside of like Uncharted.
Most of the PS3 exclusives that I was playing are first party, honestly. There wasn't a ton of games that I can even think of that were only on PS3 that I played.
A lot of the best-selling and most successful PS3 games are, in fact, published by Sony.
Yeah.
A lot of really strong first-party exclusives from Sony.
Yeah, like Fat Princess. Let's go, baby.
Let's go, Fat Princess.
Probably the last system where Sony's first-party output was as strong as I think a first-party company needs to be to really have like a strong library. Because like the PS4 like has a really good library, but when I think about the PS4's library, it's like multi-platform games, third-party games. Like it's not just because there's all these great Sony games. Like there's good Sony games, but like the PS3 was like, yeah, there's a lot. Like,
you know what the reason for that is, right? No Sly Cooper. Sly Cooper, PS3 game. No Sly Cooper on PS4. Sony's dead in the water. No Sly Cooper on PS5. Sony's dead in the water. What are they doing? Make a Sly Cooper, Sony.
All right. But any closing thoughts about the PS3 before we do our typical like debate of, somebody takes the side of, this thing is God's gift, this thing is trash, or this thing is just okay? Any like final thoughts before we get into that? We got to do our defense. Oh wait, no, that we've done that before.
This isn't a console war.
This isn't a
Yeah.
console.
I think you're mixing
war.
up podcast types.
I might be. I might be.
I mean, we can play devil's advocate on this and have a little fun with it, but yeah, that's typically the
I think I'm thinking
console
about the
war.
Wii. I think I'm thinking about the Wii U podcast where that just kind of shook out that way.
Oh
where,
yeah.
like, you were the defender. Jack was like just kind of in the middle, and I was like, I'm not really a fan.
It's because you're
So,
an
like,
asshole.
I'm sorry. This is just how I felt.
Listen.
Listen.
The PS3 is a good system because Runner 2 is on it.
It's true.
And the Wii U also had Runner 2.
There you go.
There you go. The Wii U has to
played-
be a good system.
I did play Runner 2 on the PS3 originally.
There you go.
So, it's a Runner 2 machine, therefore, it's a good console.
The
guess.
equivalent of Sly Cooper for the Wii U is Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. So,
Okay, yep.
that
and that's
is
why-
the equivalent.
That's why the 3DS and the Switch were also successes, because they
Yes.
had Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker.
Yeah, but the Switch 2 needs
Not a
its
success
own
yet.
It needs its own Captain Toad, just like how the PS5 needs its own Sly Cooper.
What if Captain Toad's sequel?
That's what I'm saying. It just needs a Captain Toad game. It needs its
Okay.
own Captain Toad video game.
On PlayStation.
No. We're talking about the
'Cause
Switch 2.
Because, I mean, we're talking about the PlayStation 3 today, so...
I want a new Sly
Are we?
Cooper game. If it has to be on the fucking PS3, then that's fine.
I was going to say, they should just release a new Captain Toad game on the PS3 in
They should do that, too.
2025. In the year of our Lord, 2025.
I fucking buy that
Just-
shit. Anyway, you guys do whatever you're gonna do. I'm gonna go do the bit now.
Okay.
Okay, he's going to go do the bit.
Do your bit.
But we should talk about what we've been up to with as far as streams and social media and all that other stuff. AKA by social media, I mean nothing, because we don't use social media. But on Twitch, we've got a lot of streams going on. Jack is wrapping up Super Mario Galaxy 2. By the time this goes out to other platforms, he is probably done with it. Maybe. It really
Probably.
depends on how...
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
It really...
It really depends on the Grandmaster Galaxy.
It truly does. That last level really is the... I'm 21 stars away from completing the game. The last one, though, is going to take a while. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes.
Yep. I have been playing Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. This is my second time playing through it. I am enjoying it a lot so far. I've basically just got to the point where I have my airship. I've got the blackjack with Setzer, and I can start, moving my party around now as I see fit. Got access to Espers, so the game's really opening up. By the time this podcast goes out to other platforms, hopefully should have reached the big turning point of the game, and
The turning point
I've-
where you get Tillamook's waffle cone swirl.
Sure. Jack, I have a question. Who is the most likely out of the Final Fantasy VI cast to like Tillamook?
Oh, Sabin. I think
Sabin.
it's got to be Sabin.
It's got to be Sabin. There it is. All right.
Good character.
But
Yep.
yeah, I've been playing that. So got quite a bit to go, but we'll see how that goes. Landon, you have been playing Dragon Quest IV Chapters of the Chosen, the DS
I have.
remake. How's that?
It has been a thing. Currently we are working on chapter 2. I started that in the last stream, and we will continue that. It has been interesting. It has been very classic Dragon Quest. A lot of grinding and a lot of me pretending I read the dialogue and then getting lost almost immediately.
Isn't that just the best way to experience RPGs, though?
I think so.
Exactly.
that-
yeah, there's that.
In eating your Tillamook Creamery product, whether it be a yogurt, because it's the morning, cheese that's cut up into snack sizes, a stick of butter, just cream cheese, Just a tub of sour cream.
All right. I think we got the point. Tillamook's great. But to continue on, we have Patreon, patreon.com/GamingStooges. And on that, we've been, doing our polls. This was actually not in the poll. This was the one topic where it's like in the middle of two polls. So it's been interesting, where we do like alternations, winner winner gets the first episode. So next episode of the podcast is going to be the loser of our last poll, where we're going to talk about console launches. So we're going to specifically be discussing, when a console came out, what games came out for it then. Be pretty fun. And then we'll have another poll right soon after, where we're going to decide the next few podcasts after that. We have so this is a weird time of the month where like this is going out. We're doing this live at the end of July, and in July we did. I mentioned this already in a previous episode, but we had our Dragon Quest XI discussion between Landon and myself. But by the time this goes out to other platforms, it'll be early August, and August. We have not yet solidified what our Patreon topic is, but we will be doing something cool. And you can, if you're a Silver Stooge, $3 a month, you can check out what that is. Wow, cool, awesome. And, just $3 just goes a long way. If you got the exclusive content, you can vote in polls. Really appreciate all your support, though. And yeah, we have a Discord. We always talk about how the link is just in the description and profile of our different platforms like YouTube and Twitch, and you can just kind of jump in that and hopefully don't be like who is that person that like joined our chat and talked about Zach and Wiki? That was really cool.
Oh, fucking
Ichigo Bradley. There it is.
Ichigo Bradley. Yeah.
Fucking Ichigo Bradley. You know what? Shout out to Ichigo Bradley.
Shout out to Ichigo Bradley.
Why'd you die?
Because they were only... How old did they say they were? Like 10 or 11
they claimed they were like an early teenager, I'm pretty sure. But I doubt that.
Very much not.
No, the answer was they weren't eating enough Tillamook Creamery product. That's why they perished.
So to close up our discussion about the PS3 before we just go to our usual final segment, PS3, good system. I mentioned I regret not playing enough of the games, but I've been collecting, and I hope I can play more in the future because, honestly, there's just something nostalgic about it now. Where it's you know what? Even if someone doesn't want to admit it, it is a retro console now.
Who's not admitting it?
You know what?
Somebody in our Discord doesn't want to admit it.
What's crazy to think about is that less than 2 years after because I got my PS3 for Christmas of 2011, so like the ass end of that year, and less than 2 years later, I joined GamingStooges.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
The
PS3 was
a long time ago.
The PS3 was a wild time when we look back on it. You know that I had this in my notes, but like the PS3 was that time like when we had like the whole GameSpot controversy with Jeff Gertzman, because like the people that I think it was IDOS, like they paid GameSpot to be like, hey, you're gonna give us a good review, and Jeff Gertzman did not give the game a good review, and then they fired him. And that was those are good times.
Good times.
Fucking savage.
So nostalgic PlayStation 3 era memories. But so that I think we've kind of covered everything as far as like, talking about the games, talking about the hardware, talking about the weirdness of it all. And we didn't mention the weird baby ad. God damn it. There I go again. The weird baby.
Yeah. Why'd you do that?
I don't know. Jack, what have you been up to the past couple weeks besides, the stuff that we already talked about in the segment about Twitch?
Where I'm streaming Super Mario Galaxy 2 on twitch.yeah/GamingStooges.
Yeah.
Don't
talk about that though. Talk about the other stuff.
Talk about the other stuff. The stuff that I do outside of this channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
let's see.
Did you go on any new shows? Get any new games? Oh, weren't you testing out like some games on your PS4 to see how that was still running, if it was still running good or not?
Not beyond
Just booting up
Persona 3.
Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Let's see. Well, within the last 2 weeks, trying to gauge when was the last 16th? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. The weekend after that, the weekend of what was that?
The 18th and the 19th and 20th.
19th and 20th. I went up to northern Detroit to visit my friends and had a weekend up there. We had a pool party. It was pretty rad. Bethany and I went to go see Haywire at the Edgman printing shop in Clinton Township, I think it is. It was pretty sick. Great show. Very violent. There's like a shitload of videos online of like the vocalist like climbing on top of a fucking like storage shelf and just doing a front flip into the crowd. It was pretty great. And they were doing a thing where like for that show only, because it was at the fucking print shop, they said like, if you bring your own shirt, we have an exclusive print that we will put onto any shirt that you bring in, and we will do it for free. And I'm like, hell yeah. So that was cool.
That's a steal.
It is a steal. Free shirt design anyway. Aside from that, Bethany and I have been watching a lot of House still. We finished through season 4, and it's pretty fucking good right now. Let's see. You guys will like this. I recently got Bethany to start watching Dragon Ball Z. She is watching through the series for the first time.
Is she watching through the original or Kai?
Original
Okay.
Z.
Ooh. You got to do that version because you have to have the driving school. Like
I will
episode.
say, I wonder how she's gonna feel when she has to watch like 20 episodes of Goku versus Frieza.
True. It's a lot.
It's
She's about it though. She knows what she's getting into. We're already at like episode 30 something. We're like definitely well into the
oh, that's like right near right at the end of the Saiyan saga.
Yeah, we're getting there. And it's been fun. And we only just started that like several days ago, so we've been watching a lot of it. Haven't been up to too much. I have been kind of neglecting buying video games. I still need to get Tony Hawk and Donkey Kong. But I had a lot of bills and money that I was spending on films in the Criterion Collection because of the July sale. And I bought a lot of those.
That July sale is really like nipping at you.
It's 50% off everything for the whole month. And otherwise it's like, fuck paying full price for any of these when they have these like month-long sales twice a year and occasionally flash sales.
Yeah, fair.
So get them now so I don't have to buy any more for the next until November when the next month-long sale is.
Well, hopefully nothing good will have been released between now and then.
Oh, there is stuff that is coming out between now and then that I will want to get, and I'm going to have to hold off.
I was going to say, how are you going to do that with all the games coming out in October and September?
I know, and I have a lot of shows that I'm going to. I live a very expensive life.
You gotta pick and choose your battles.
His battle is he doesn't eat. Ice soup, baby.
Yeah, ice soup, my favorite meal.
Ice soup and packaged ramen and like package of instant ramen. That's it. That's all you got.
Hell yeah. That's
fucking ketchup packets he stole from McDonald's.
Yeah.
So last update, I mentioned literally with 2 sentences, I was playing Dragon Quest HD 2D Remake for the Nintendo Switch family of entertainment systems, and I thought it was good. I recently beat Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake for the Nintendo Switch family of entertainment systems. And it was indeed good, except for the slog through that final dungeon. Holy fucking shit, that final dungeon is a pain in the ass. But other than that, I've really enjoyed it. Like, I see why, like, obviously I'm playing a remake that's, like, really changes up a lot of stuff and, like, adds a lot of new things. But, like, I can see just, like, from the structure of the game, like, why it was such a big deal when it came out. Because, like, you got the party system, you got this, like, big, open, explorative progression to the game where, like, you're not forced to do a whole lot in a linear fashion. So, like, it's such a really just nicely tuned adventure where you kind of control your own pace, and, like, I had a lot of fun. And it's pretty easy to not get lost. Like, you can still, like, know where everything you're doing is. So, like, I spent about 60 hours doing everything that I felt like doing across the game. I did most of the side stuff that you could do without, like, really getting into the nitty gritty when it comes to, like, the back part of the game. So I had a lot of fun. One day I will hopefully go back and do some of the post-game stuff that unlocks in the HD 2D remake, but I will probably save that till a later time because I am prepping for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 later this year.
Hell yeah.
And then I went back to Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory because, as well as being excited for the upcoming Dragon Quest remake, I'm also excited for Digimon Story Time Stranger, and I want to make sure that I'm all done with Cyber Sleuth before that, both sides of that duology. And I am almost 2/3 of the way through Hacker's Memory. It's got 18 chapters, but, like, a couple of the chapters in the back half are, like, very, very, very short chapters, so they hardly even count as a full chapter. And I'm at the end of chapter 11. Like, I have to do, like, this one story mission, and then it's on to chapter 12, and there, like, 2 of the chapters coming up are, like, really short. So there's going to be, like, a lot of optional stuff opening up. It's pretty fun, although there's, like, some aspects of it where it's, like, I'm not very fond of. My major complaint, and I mentioned this in our Discord, again, join our Discord, they added this thing called Domination Battles that was not in the original Cyber Sleuth, and it's like there's these weird boards where, like, there's different spots, and you're on a team of 3, up to 3, and then there's an enemy team of NPCs up to 3, and you'll have to capture points on this board, and most of them are just worth 1 point, but there's some that are worth 5 and some that are worth 10. And if you clash with an enemy NPC, you get a 1-turn battle. Each side gets 1 turn. Depending on who initiates the fight, they get to go first. And if you knock them out, you can actually progress onto their space. If you don't, then you just bounce off each other. And whoever can first get to the point total that the victory condition requires wins. And some of the layouts on those are fucking stupid. Like, one of the ones that I had to do, the way that they had it set up, like, you were funneled through, and then there's, like, platforms above you, and just like a lot of strategy RPGs, if you want to go up elevation, it costs extra movement. So, like, the enemy team was up on a higher elevation, so they didn't have this penalty. So I'm fucking trying to, like, ward off, like, enemies from, like, all different sides. It's just, and it takes forever because you have to do all of this, and then you get all the experience rewards at the end. And the experience rewards at the end are just, like, maybe worth a couple of levels per Digimon at most of the time. So, yeah, I don't like those. But other than that, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Lusamon is very broken. I grinded to get him. He is a rookie with stats, like, bordering between Ultimate and Mega, and he fucking 1-shots or 2-shots a lot of enemies in the game, and it's really funny. So, yeah, I'm going to probably try and grind that out. I'm looking forward to playing Persona 4 Golden is my next target game I'm going to play. I know that Jack's really excited for me to play that.
Hell
and
yeah.
I've really been, like, mapping out what I'm going to play when, and I've been able to, like, kind of figure out, like, roughly when I'm going to finish games. So I've been, like, planning out what I'm going to play ahead of time for the rest of the year. Like, I've got Persona 4 Golden in mind, in between Persona 4 Golden and Pokemon Legends ZA. If I have time, I'm going to try and fit something in there. But we've got Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake, which is like a definite buy and playthrough before the end of this year. We'll see if Digimon Storytime Stranger, goes on sale enough. I picked up a copy. I'm waiting for it to come in the mail of Clair Obscure Expedition 33 because there's been a lot of people talking about that game this year. In our Discord, we've got quite a few people saying like they love this game. And I'm just like, you know what? I've seen gameplay. I remember in a very previous, very far back podcast at this point, probably early this season, or maybe like last season, I remember mentioning like I saw this game showed off, and I was like, this looks good. And now that I've seen more of it, I'm like, okay, I gotta play it. So I've seen that it's not a super long game. It's like kind of standard length for like a briskly paced RPG. So it's like 30 hours or so. So if I have time, I might get to that, and maybe I'll talk about Clair Obscure Expedition 33 and try not to spoil anything at some point. We'll see. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, just playing games to clear out my backlog, prep up for games that are coming out, plan out in advance like how I'm going to tackle those games, and just having a lot of fun with that. So, Landon, what have you been up to?
I got 3 syllables for you, Steve. Donkey Kong.
Babies. Oh,
Let's
not
go.
Two Crying. Oh,
Donkey Kong.
not. Okay. How is
What?
it though?
What?
I just realized you said syllables, and I was thinking words.
Oh, no. Syllables.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong, Steve. Let's go. Good answer, Steve. Good answer.
Good answer, Steve.
Donkey Kong Bonanza is fucking addictive. It's like meth. It's like doing meth.
I've been told that it's like Super Mario Odyssey. I haven't been told it's like meth. So that's a new one.
Yeah, it's like meth. It's like doing straight meth. It's awesome.
Okay. I'm okay. Sure.
He has questions. He won't say it, but he has questions.
I have questions, but I think that's for another time.
Donkey Kong has been a lot of fun. I'm about a third of the way through the game. I've cleared up to Sublayer 600. I have to go back and do 500 because I was given an option to do 500 or 600, and I chose 600. But like I've been going through and I've been like clearing, getting all of the Bananium gems that you can get prior to post game in every area, as well as getting all of the fossils that you can get. So I'm like every single layer that you're going into, all of the sub layers, I'm just grabbing every fucking thing. It's just a lot of fun to beat up everything. Walls, trees, NPCs, just beating the fucking shit out of all of it is a lot of fun.
Nice.
Also,
Nice.
I went and saw a band, and I got this shirt.
Oh,
Wow. How many
would
times have you seen that band, Landon?
This band?
Yeah.
Streetlight
This band
Manifesto
right here?
for the listeners.
It's a great question, Jack. I have seen them
A lot.
a lot. That was probably my like 10th or 12th time seeing them.
I would fully believe that.
But
yes.
maybe, probably not your 11th.
Probably not my
10th or
11th,
12th.
but somewhere in between 1 and 12. But definitely
Okay.
not 1 through like 6, and definitely
And
not
probably
11.
not 11.
Yeah.
So maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe 12. Probably not any of the other ones, though.
Definitely not any of the other ones. Absolutely
Okay.
not. I mean, if we technically don't count me seeing them last year, because that was Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution, or Streetlight Manifesto presents Bandits of the Acoustic Revolution, which is just Streetlight Manifesto
with an orchestra.
with an orchestra.
And also acoustic.
That's still I mean, that's
It's still Streetlight
It's the
Manifesto.
same thing.
yeah.
It is.
That's like saying, oh, I went to like this
It's-
orchestra for. I went to the Sonic Symphony. It's like, okay, you went to listen to Sonic music. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Like-
but it wasn't
It's-
like Sonic playing the music.
No, but you know what I mean. Like, it's the
Yeah.
official music, and then they did an orchestra. It's like, okay, so you have Streetlight Manifesto music that just happens to be orchestrated.
Well,
no,
the band
it's-
is there too.
Band.
The band is literally playing the music with the orchestra.
An orchestra.
Yeah,
You guys are getting too technical.
we are.
How was it?
Yeah.
Anyway, this show at Portland this year was good. They played.
Is it
Last
ever
month
not?
they dropped new music that is going to be in their album that they're going to release sometime between now and the Heat Death of the Universe. My guess is closer towards the Heat Death of the Universe than now.
Yeah, most likely.
I was gonna say,
Most
when was the
likely.
last album they put out? Wasn't it a while
12
ago?
years ago.
12 years ago, during 2013.
Yep.
Oh my god.
The Hands of the Hands That Thieve.
The Hands That
was
Thieve.
the last
That
album.
was the last one.
That was
Yeah,
the last
it
album we
was.
put out.
Ugh.
Listen, a lot has happened since then. It's
True.
It's 2025. A lot has happened since then. One of
Yeah,
their trumpet
you're telling
players
me.
died. So
Yeah,
That
would
happened.
be fair. That would
The
take,
trumpet player died.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Matt Stewart.
that
yeah.
would take a lot of time to get over.
well, that was somewhat recent.
That was only like a year ago, actually.
Yeah.
But
but that happened.
they got
in between.
they got sued by their former label. It was a whole thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was the big thing.
I do remember that.
Anyway, the show was fantastic. The new songs sound really good live. So anyone who's worried about the mixing issues, go fuck yourself.
There's people worried about those.
Yeah, the YouTube. So they dropped the YouTube like versions, and the mixing. If you listen to it through YouTube, people say doesn't sound as good as like the other quality of their music. I don't know. I don't know anything about music. I've never played a musical instrument. in
It's
my
a
life.
little rough around the edges.
but it's
I'm just gonna
also
gloss over that comment that Landon just made
what?
about never playing music in your life.
Yeah,
It's a bit. It's a bit.
I've never done anything
I
ever
know.
in my life. Anyway, the Streetlight was great. I loved it. Yeah, I haven't played much else. It's just been Donkey Kong. So
Cool.
R.I.P. Cyberpunk 2077 for the Nintendo Switch 2 family of entertainment systems.
you know, I probably put more time into Cyberpunk than I did Mario Kart, though. So there's that.
That's true. Mario Kart World got a new update recently, so I'm looking to go back to that.
So maybe I'll play
I don't know.
Cyberpunk. Maybe I'll go back and play some Cyberpunk now.
Nice.
Anyway.
Nice.
Do the bit.
All right. Yeah. So if that's everything, then we're just gonna roll our outro, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to the Gaming Stooges Talks podcast. If you enjoyed us, consider subscribing to our podcast RSS feed, or follow us on youtube.com/gamingstooges and twitch.tv/gamingstooges for more gaming content. If you'd like to chat with us, join our Discord. The link can be found in the episode description. We also want to thank all of our Patreon supporters. Your continued support means a lot to us. Not already one? Please take a look at what we have to offer anyone who becomes a patron at patreon.com/gamingstooges. See you next time!